Tonight on CTV News, to hunt or not to hunt grizzlies.
But a number of places that, historically were opposed to grizzly bear hunting, we're hearing more and more from them now that they're really concerned.
The surge in terrifying attacks is renewing calls to resume the grizzly bear hunt in BC, what the province is saying.
A heavy oil spill will decimate a $1.7 billion industry of fisheries and tourism.
Tense words between the Premier and Mark Carney. How soon Ottawa could announce an agreement with Alberta for a pipeline to BC.
Matthias Laborda against Hugo Lloris to send Vancouver to the conference final.
The Vancouver Whitecaps win a thrilling roller coaster match. What's next in their playoff run?
This is CTV News with me, Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Later this week, Ottawa and the Alberta government are set to sign a memorandum of understanding on energy and climate change. And sources say that deal will pave the path for a new oil pipeline to the BC coast. Now a move by a Saskatchewan company also has the Premier fuming. CTV's Rob Buffum reports.
An agreement between Alberta and Ottawa is expected this week for a memorandum of understanding on a new pipeline to BC's coast, involving an exemption to the province's tanker ban.
Big picture, what we're looking to do and what we are doing is a series of major investments, nation-building projects that make our country stronger.
Premier Eby talked Monday morning with Prime Minister Carney, expressing his strong opposition to the plan, telling reporters the deal isn't yet finalized and reiterating his frustrations that even Saskatchewan was included in talks about the pipeline, but not BC.
It's not something that would happen to Quebec. This is not something that would happen to other provinces in the Federation. I don't know why. The thought was that it would be okay for it to happen in British Columbia.
Eby acknowledged an official MOU was likely days away, but disputed that means an actual pipeline is inevitable, with no private sector proponent yet.
If it is going to be taxpayer funded, that British Columbia get access to a $50 billion federally funded project as well.
I'm thrilled to see that this is going forward. I think it's part of a nation-building project that helps to unify this country.
Eby told the Prime Minister his biggest demand: that coastal First Nations be at the table.
Coastal First Nations consent and support is required for this conversation.
Meanwhile, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith expressed confidence on her radio talk show a deal is coming.
And we've been going back and forth almost daily for probably the better part of the last 2 weeks.
Feeling left out of consultations, Eby's frustrations amplified by news a huge Saskatchewan potash company plans to ship its products out of Washington state, not BC's ports.
That really was just the cherry on top.
Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe firing back.
I'm really disappointed that, an NDP premier would, start, thinking that this conversation is either or. It's either his projects or someone else's, and always advocating that it should be his.
Rob Buffum joins us live from Victoria. Rob, when are we expecting the deal to be announced?
Well, Mei-Jung, the expectation is we'll hear an announcement on Thursday. The rationale for that is that Danielle Smith's party's big convention is the following day, starting on Friday, so that timing would tailor in nicely for that event for her, certainly. As for how First Nations feel about this, I reached out to the Coastal First Nations today and was told that they would have a response, a statement, a reaction, if and when there is an announcement on Thursday. So stay tuned.
Rob Buffum reporting live tonight from Victoria. Now to Bella Coola, where the search is still on for the grizzly bears involved in last week's vicious attack on students and teachers out on a field trip. 2 bears have been captured, but they have not yet been linked to the attack. And tonight there are calls to revisit the ban on hunting grizzly bears in this province that's been in place for nearly a decade. CTV's Martin McMahon has more.
What we're trying to do is just focus on keeping the community safe and trying to locate the bear.
Just days after a grizzly bear attacked a group of 20 elementary school students and teachers in Bella Coola, the environment minister very much focused on finding the sow and 2 cubs involved. Conservation officers captured a bear Monday morning.
The evidence that they've collected so far suggests that this was not the bear that was involved in the attack on the children and the teachers. The bear continues to be searched for by the conservation officers. Additional officers were sent up today.
A second bear was captured Monday afternoon in Bella Coola. It hasn't yet been established whether it was involved in Thursday's attack. This just the latest high-profile grizzly encounter. Last month, 2 hikers were attacked in Prince George, and a BC man was also attacked in East Kootenay, initially fighting the bear off before dying of his injuries. And in Alberta last month, a hunter was also left seriously injured by a grizzly. It's prompting calls to revisit BC's ban on grizzly hunting.
Obviously, there's other tools around mitigation, attracted management, bear conflict, but a number of places that, historically were opposed to grizzly bear hunting, we're hearing more and more from them now that they're really concerned, and there's having additional conflicts in the last couple of years.
But some experts are pushing back on the idea of reviving the hunt.
Across British Columbia, over about a 35-year period, the only statistical signal that is correlated with grizzly bear conflict is declines in food supply, specifically salmon.
Derrimont insists there are alternatives to a hunt.
And that is supporting the restoration of salmon runs, both the stream spawning habitat, looking again at harvest levels out in the ocean, and very importantly, helping humans manage attractants in their area.
The government will examine the hunting policy in the coming weeks, but says it will not make any immediate changes. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Vancouver.
Another home in Surrey has been hit with gunfire, and once again, someone has been injured. So far, police don't believe the violence is related to rampant extortion, but admit it's too early in the investigation to rule that out. Sinjin Alexander with the latest.
Police made it clear this investigation is just beginning, that witness accounts and images from home security systems and dashcam video will be critical. They can confirm around 9 o'clock Sunday, multiple gunshots hit this home on 101B Avenue.
What we need to rule out at this early stage is whether the house was the intended target, whether any individuals inside were themselves intended targets.
Target or not, a woman inside the home was injured. She survived and is recovering in hospital. This violence certainly looks familiar with all the hallmarks of rampant extortion in Surrey. But at this point, police don't believe it is.
It may have, as we've seen in several cases already this year, be related to extortions. Now that link has not been made in this case.
On the way to the scene, a Surrey Police Service SUV collided with another vehicle. Their lights and sirens were on, what's known as a Code 3, when the crash occurred near an intersection on 96 Avenue.
Both officers did sustain some minor non-life-threatening injuries. Both were taken to hospital, and both are thankfully expected to recover.
While the exact motive for the shooting remains under investigation, Surrey police say there have been more than 100 reports of extortion this year alone. Sinjin Alexander, CTV News.
Crown prosecutors have begun their closing arguments in the trial of the man accused of killing a teenage boy and a rival gang member in Vancouver nearly 8 years ago. Kane Carter, an Ontario man in his late 20s, is charged with second-degree murder in the deaths of 15-year-old Alfred Wong, an innocent bystander, and 23-year-old Kevin Whiteside, who police say was involved in an ongoing gang feud. The Crown argues Carter fired multiple rounds intending to kill Whiteside, and that a single bullet struck Wong as he sat in the back seat of his parents' car near Broadway in Ontario. Carter first stood trial last year, but that proceeding ended in a mistrial. Crown will continue its closing argument Tuesday. Proposed changes to BC's Mental Health Act could bolster a controversial policy in voluntary care. At a news conference today, government officials said the proposed changes update a liability protection provision to better protect healthcare workers who provide involuntary mental health care to patients. Some argue involuntary care infringes on charter rights. The province says the goal is to help people who are so unwell they can't make decisions about their own safety.
The function of this section is to ensure that when this care is delivered, that the healthcare professionals who deliver it are legally protected, that they know that they have our support, we understand this is a challenging piece of work, and that they cannot be sued for delivering this care.
The province is currently in court defending involuntary care provisions in the Mental Health Act. It is 6:09:45, and believe it or not, yes, that is snow on Grouse Mountain. It's a little foggy, the lens, I guess.
Pretty socked in out there because, yes, the rain here means snow on our mountains already, which is great news for all the skiers and snowboarders out there. Right now, we are seeing cloudy skies across the Lower Mainland. On the cool side, 4 degrees at the Harbour and in Burnaby, a touch warmer in Pitt Meadows at 5 degrees. Warmer yet in the Valley, 6 for Abbotsford, 7 for Chilliwack. Overcast skies as we head through the overnight hours, dropping down to 4, and then tomorrow we'll do it all over again. Light rain expected with a high of 6, with a little bit of a breeze from the east at 20 kilometers an hour.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Make the most of your next trip by booking with those who've been there. Visit expediacruises.ca.
And after tomorrow, a couple dry days ahead. I've got your full forecast coming up.
And if there's any sun, we might be able to see that snow on the mountains, right?
Hopefully Friday.
All right, thanks, Ann. The province is being slammed over its spending on a trio of soccer balls made of wood leather. The Canadian Taxpayers Federation says they found out through Freedom of Information requests the province spent $55,000 for the production of the 3 balls. They were created by a team at UBC whose leather project overall cost the province an additional $133,000. The CTF says it's just another example of wasteful spending.
It's money that's not going towards core services like schools, hospitals, or roads. So this is an incredible amount of money to be sending right on the door on a product that most British Columbians, I think, would argue is pretty pointless.
The balls were showcased at the Osaka Expo in Japan earlier this year as a new, more environmentally friendly product that could be used in the future. You might have seen a large plume of smoke rising above the Langley Regional Airport today, but it was all part of a safety exercise to test out emergency preparedness. A simulated helicopter crash, complete with a fire, fuel spill, and missing passenger played out at the airport today. The coordinated exercise brought together first responders with on-site partners, township staff, and a K-9 team.
There's a lot of takeaways. I mean, from a glance outside, it may not look like there's much to learn from, but there's communications, there's a bunch of emergency response procedures that we'll have to update after.
The airport is required to stage a full-scale emergency exercise like this every 4 years. It's being called one of the greatest games ever played at BC Place after a dramatic win for the Whitecaps. What's next for their bid to be MLS champion? Also ahead.
You don't have to get up close and try and make cuts on the gear, so it's a great outcome.
A no-touch rescue of a humpback whale in the Gulf Islands, entangled in fishing gear. How crews were able to set the whale free. When CTV News at 6 continues, stay with us.
Le deuxième poteau, il y a Cristiano. Nawaf pour Cristiano, peut-être le 6.
Global superstar Cristiano Ronaldo pulled off another incredible goal for his extensive highlight reel. The 40-year-old rolled back the clock with this jaw-dropping bicycle kick goal, proving that age is just a number. And speaking of numbers, that was goal number 954 of his record career. The Vancouver Whitecaps will soon learn who they'll be playing against in the next round of the MLS playoffs after they eliminated LAFC in a thrilling shootout in front of nearly 54,000 delirious fans at BC Place. CTV's Ben Milger has more on the electric atmosphere that helped propel the team to victory.
These fans went on a roller coaster of emotions Saturday, at times amazed, perplexed, and finally euphoric as the Whitecaps and LAFC waged a playoff duel for the ages.
I didn't really know what to expect, so we definitely got our money's worth, though. It went to extra time, penalties, so it was a good show.
The Whitecaps opened the scoring with keeper Yohei Takaoka delivering a long ball over the top to Emmanuel Sabi, who chips it in. To end the half, it was Matias Laborda pouncing on a rebound and putting it in through the goalie's legs. A sense of optimism in the stadium gave way to dread as LA pulled within one, setting up an improbable finish.
It's not to be believed. I think if you had written it and submitted it to a Hollywood producer, they'd be like, nope, not believable. Sorry, we can't go with that.
In added time, Tristan Blackman, already on a yellow card, gets booked again and sent off. On the ensuing free kick, Sun Hyung-min curls a brilliant strike into the top corner, leveling the score at 2. An injury in overtime reduced the Caps to 9 players against LA's 11. Attacking in waves, the visitors hit both posts and the crossbar in one wild sequence. But the Caps survived to the shootout, where Laborda stepped up with a chance to be the hero. He delivered in the biggest moments, kicking off a party lasting well into the night.
It was a glorious night, and it was also, I would say, an exclamation mark about what this club means for the city, for the people in the city.
The other Western semifinal gets underway at 7 o'clock tonight. If San Diego wins, the Caps will head down to California for Saturday's Western Conference final. If Minnesota wins tonight, the Whitecaps will host the next game at BC Place. But if you want tickets, act fast. It's already sold out, and prices on the resale market are only going up between now and Saturday. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
A rescue squad was able to untangle a humpback whale from 42 meters of fishing gear before it set off on its annual migration. Last week, a mariner spotted 2 humpback whales near Pender Island, one of which had a buoy trailing behind her. American teams responded and attached a tracker buoy to follow its movement overnight. The whale, known as Eugenia, ended up in Canadian waters near Jordan River, and it looked like she could be starting her migration to Hawaii. When responders got there, they found the tracker buoy floating on the surface along with all the gear Eugenia had been tangled in. They think drag from the tracker buoy helped pull the gear off the whale.
There's over 20 cases where we've showed up and to the gear, the satellite buoy, and there's been all the entangling gear on it, and that's along the U.S. West Coast, East Coast, and Alaska and Hawaii. So a lot of it happens a lot more than we think. It is the easiest way and safest way to do it. You don't have to get up close and try and make cuts on the gear. So it's a great outcome.
Canadian teams weren't available for the response, but gave the go-ahead for the American crews to work in Canadian waters. Black Friday is much more than just one day. How shoppers are relying on bargains more than ever. Also ahead.
The ability for drones to drop explosives or fly into something and explode is obviously a serious threat around the world.
A contest to track down potentially dangerous drones. Companies put their tech to the test to protect Ottawa's downtown core. That's next. This is time-lapse video of the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii last night. It has been erupting on and off since last December, with lava sometimes flying up to 400 meters into the air. The United States Geological Survey has issued an alert. It warns people on the island that lava flows are increasing and that another episode like this could happen at any time. Residents of Ottawa are being warned to expect drones flying around downtown this week. It's all part of an event put on by the Department of National Defense and the RCMP aimed at improving safety and identifying suspicious drones. CTV's Austin Lee reports.
As drone technology evolves,
So too do threats to public safety.
The ability for drones to drop explosives or fly into something and explode is obviously a serious threat around the world.
This week, trials are underway in Ottawa's downtown core to detect drones that theoretically could be a threat. The challenge, protecting a 4-block area of the city with office towers varying from 2 to 15 stories. 20 companies putting their tech to the test with some $1.7 million in prize money up for grabs.
I think it's necessary to have an event like this. I mean, I like to think some have been going on that we don't even know about as well. But Ottawa is really a prime target for a lot of things, crime like any other major city, but with visiting dignitaries, a sitting parliament.
From locating drones to AI-powered target tracking and destruction. Though this event is all about drone detection, none will be destroyed.
Drone warfare is now mainstream, and Canada is lacking, and we're behind the power curve in drone warfare and county drone operations. So I think this is great news that we're doing it.
This week's event is part of the Innovation for Defense Excellence and Security program. It comes as the future of warfare is changing quickly.
What is happening in Ukraine and in Gaza is demonstrating just how fast this is evolving. Much like a tank used to be, or the infantry or artillery, now you've got drones that are just equally as important. And in fact, today, they're actually more important.
The drones involved in the challenge are all registered and fully compliant with Transport Canada requirements.
Austin Lee, CTV News.
Members of Parliament in Ontario have passed the Ford government's controversial housing legislation. Voting on Bill 60 took place as protesters shouted from the public gallery at the legislature today. The bill bars tenants from raising new issues at landlord and tenant board hearings and scraps the need for a landlord to offer compensation if they take their property back for their own use. Critics say the bill will speed up eviction hearings and make it harder for tenants to defend themselves against bad faith evictions. A federal government source has confirmed to CTV News the Prime Minister is considering a trip to Washington next week. The news comes less than 48 hours after Mark Carney dismissed a question about when he last spoke with Donald Trump. The PM answered by saying, "Who cares?" Carney had previously said both he and the U.S. president are busy and don't have any burning issues to discuss. Today in the House of Commons, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre pointed out that Carney campaigned on his ability to deal with the Trump administration and accused the Liberals of not caring about Canadian workers. Christmas is just over a month away, and retailers say this Black Friday will be the biggest shopping day of the year, with economic uncertainty making shoppers rely on sales more than ever before. CTV's Camille Wilson reports.
This is how we used to picture Black Friday. Now the one-day mad rush is more drawn out. For Doris Rainey and her two daughters, Christmas shopping in November is about crossing items off the list.
We do Black Friday shopping once a year.
And bonding.
We enjoy it because I get a mother-daughter event, and I get to buy for all my grandchildren with the help of my daughters.
Like many shoppers, when this family sees bargains, they buy.
In today's economy, we need to stretch our dollars as far as they can go, especially being a mom of 4 kids and all headed to university.
We always look for bargains in our family just to keep the budget on level.
The American tradition of Black Friday has more than caught on in Canada, but the deals here particularly appreciated this year.
The sales are really good, and seeing we're not going to the U.S. anymore to cash in on anything down there, this is really where it's at. So we're happy with the pricing here.
It's no longer just Black Friday. It's really the whole month of November, with retailers spreading out their sales leading up to Black Friday, not just in store, but online as well.
It used to just be Black Friday, and then there was Cyber Monday, and that's it.
Now it's really the whole month of November.
With retailers starting deals earlier to cater to online shoppers, many already taking advantage of the discounts.
It's great to come on a Monday or a day where it's not busy and not on the weekend and not the Black Friday kind of rush. So.
I also own a retail store, so Black Friday is a busy time for us, so it's nice to get out ahead of it. We do lots of little things, so like maybe buy one, get one sort of thing, or a smaller like socks with the purchase of a pair of pajamas kind of thing, because you can't compete completely with the big box stores.
Camille Wilson, CTV News.
A new luxury spa could be launching on the Vancouver Waterfront with a distinctly nautical theme. Also ahead, a cold plunge in Calgary.
Roads are just really, really slick. Couldn't stop vehicles.
This 9-car pileup, just one of hundreds of accidents in Calgary as snow blanketed the city. The story is next. Fire crews in Jerusalem rescued a teen who was stuck dangling for 7 hours from a crane 36 stories above the city. Video shows the boy trapped on a tiny platform hanging precariously over a high-rise building. The 15-year-old told rescue teams that he had climbed up the crane around midnight because he wanted to see the view. A luxurious spa aboard a Second World War barge could soon anchor in Vancouver if a city councillor gets her way. The team behind Haven hopes to set up outside the Maritime Museum, and Councillor Sarah Kirby-Young will introduce a motion on Wednesday to speed things up. The museum is all for it because they say it fits right in, would generate revenue, and may draw tourists to the area. Once on board the 1943 vessel, customers are treated to a hydrotherapy circuit with saunas, cool pools, and hot baths. In Calgary, winter weather has arrived. More than 380 crashes were reported, injuring more than 24 people. The tow trucks and snow plows were out in full force, but the snow has been unrelenting. CTV's Tyler Barrow on the city's reaction to the first snowstorm of the season.
Calgarians woke up to a winter wonderland Monday morning, but it was hardly a welcome Christmas present. This was the scene of a 9-vehicle pileup. The driver we spoke with had their BMW squished in the non-plowed side street. She advises other drivers to avoid them.
Roads are just really, really slick. Couldn't stop vehicles. Huge pileup.
The crash resulted in no serious injuries. However, Calgary Police Service is reporting 389 collisions, 26 resulting in injuries, with 50 hit and runs. For those using public transportation, it was hectic. These 2 buses among the 70 that got stuck over the course of the day. Tow trucks had a busy day. Cheap Towing had approximately 25 people contact them for help as calls kept coming in.
A lot of people did not have their snow tires on, so hopefully the snow melts away to give them a second chance.
As of 3 p.m., the city's snow plan was activated. Crews will begin working to clear Priority 1 roads.
Once the snowfall stops, our target is to have the Priority 1 network cleared within 18 hours. I would anticipate that happens more quickly on this event.
Pedestrian infrastructure will also be prioritized, which the city wants cleared within 24 hours of the plan being activated. For some Calgarians, there was no complaining about the snowfall after the warm, dry fall we enjoyed.
We know how the seasons work, so it's only a matter of time till we face this every year, and here we are.
I'm not complaining because, we've had such great weather up until now, so we knew it was coming.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
And I'm a little surprised that Calgarians even don't have their snow tires on yet, especially in a city like that. But maybe they moved there from BC.
Yeah, definitely. I was like that when I moved to Lethbridge. Didn't have my snow tires on heading into university. But the good news is for Calgarians, the snow has stopped and expect sunshine heading into tomorrow. This is how we fared today. We saw a high of 7.1 degrees, slightly below the seasonal average of 8.2. Well, warmer overnight than the average of 2.5, and with the rainfall that we saw through the weekend, 85.9 millimeters of rain so far this month, still below the monthly average of 171.2 millimeters of rain. More rain on the way with this next system offshore, bringing in some wet weather. This is what it looks like on our weather tracker right now. Still seeing some showers for Port Coquitlam, Surrey, as well as Langley and Maple Ridge. As we head through the overnight, it dries up, clouds over, and then a next round of wet weather moves its way in tomorrow morning, continuing through the afternoon. slowly easing tomorrow night, but we will still see a few scattered showers. For the northeast corner of the province, you're looking at lots of sunshine, cold temperatures though, your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. For the North Island tomorrow, you'll see 7 degrees. It'll be wet, it'll be windy. You'll see winds gusting to about 90 kilometers an hour along the coast. 6 degrees for Campbell River and Comox with periods of rain. Wet and windy for Tofino as well with winds gusting to 80 kilometers an hour. It'll be soggy for Port Alberni. Light rain starting around noon from Nanaimo right down to Victoria. Temperatures between 5 and 7 degrees. Soggy for the Sunshine Coast with a high of 5. You'll see showers up the Sea to Sky Highway, 4 degrees, and then flurries for Whistler, highs to freezing, and for us across the Lower Mainland. Light rain of 7 degrees across the board. It does dry up as we head into Wednesday. Rain returns on Thursday, but then heading into Friday and the weekend, looking pretty nice. We start off sunny on Friday, clouds over through the afternoon. A mix of sun and cloud to kick off the weekend on Saturday. Heading into Sunday, we will see overcast skies and then showers return in the afternoon on Monday after a dry start. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. A good thing you got your Christmas lights up over the weekend.
Yes, yeah. This, for the first time ever, we're the first ones on the block to put our lights up.
Well, hopefully you set something going for the rest of the week and the next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nice to brighten up a dark night, right?
Exactly. That's why I have my tree up in April.
Yeah. It feels like we're getting into the Christmas spirit.
Pretty much.
All right, thanks, Anne. Well, it's a reunion 8 years in the making. The cat that was lost is now found. Also ahead.
Obviously, that was a surprise to me. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't have any claims on this truck.
He was stunned to discover his new truck had an accident claim for $13,000. CTV investigates the Carfax record. That's ahead. Today's markets, the Canadian dollar staying stubbornly low at 70 cents to the U.S. dollar. Oil was up 78 cents today, closing at $58.84. Gold gained nearly $15 on the day, and the TSX and the Dow Jones both finished the day higher, up 443 points and 202 points, respectively. You may want to check the yogurt in your fridge as Yoplait is recalling some of its products in Canada. The affected products are on the Canadian Food Inspection Agency website and include all Yop 200-millimeter drinkable yogurt flavors. The recall is due to the possible presence of pieces of plastic inside the yogurts. A number of multi-packs of the products are also covered by the recall. The products include all best before dates up to January the 12th. When you purchase a brand new vehicle, you expect it to be problem-free with no accidents and a clean Carfax. So when an Ontario man went to trade in his new truck, he was surprised to find an accident claim of more than $13,000. CTV's Pat Foran explains.
Yeah, baby! What? 9.5!
Cooper Gallant of Bowmanville is a professional fisherman involved in competitive bass fishing and major tournaments. 2 years ago, he bought a 2023 Dodge Ram pickup truck that he uses to drive all over North America. Recently, his father, Gary, was helping him trade it in.
Because he relies on it to be very reliable, he wanted to trade it in each year and get a new one.
Even though Gallant had the truck since it was brand new, he was unaware there was a damage claim on his truck's Carfax report.
He basically said, oh, you have a $13,000 claim. And obviously that was a surprise to me. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't have any claims on this truck.
It appears when the truck was sitting on a dealer's lot, thieves cut off and stole the truck's catalytic converter, which they sell for precious metals inside. To replace it with a new one costs more than $13,000. It also means the truck's trade-in value is less because it has an accident claim against it.
I don't want to lose out on $5,000 to $8,000, and I want to be able to get the right dollar for it, what I deserve to get.
When Gallant complained to the dealership where he bought it, they said they special ordered the truck and were also unaware of the claim. The Gallants feel replacing the catalytic converter was not an accident and should not affect the truck's resale value.
The claim against it should not have anything to do with the value of the trade-in.
When CTV News reached out to Carfax, a spokesperson said, given there was no accident-related damage and the stolen part was replaced with an OEM part, it should not be considered an accident damage record. The Carfax now lists no damage or accidents, but under service it does show the catalytic converter was stolen and replaced with an OEM part. That was good enough for Gallant, who can now concentrate on fishing and not worry about the value of his truck when he does trade it in.
Big shout out to Pat Ford and CTV News for looking into the problem with my truck. Everything's good, so thank you guys. Appreciate it big time.
Canadian music legend Joni Mitchell will be celebrated at next year's Junos.
From Blue to her latest return to the stage, Joni just continues to inspire us with her artistry. So congratulations to Joni Mitchell.
I really don't know clouds. I really don't know clouds at all.
The singer-songwriter is going to be recognized for her incredible impact on music with a Lifetime Achievement Award. She'll be only the third recipient to receive the top honor at the Junos. And Nelly Furtado has been chosen as the newest inductee into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. She's being honored for a career of hits that include Like a Bird and Man-Eater. Furtado recently announced she's stepping back from live performances for the foreseeable future, so it's unclear if she will perform at the awards show. Reggae pioneer Jimmy Cliff has died at the age of 81. Cliff may be best known for his role in the 1972 film The Harder They Come. Its soundtrack, which included several songs by Cliff, helped introduce reggae to a global audience. According to Cliff's family, he died following a bout of pneumonia after suffering a seizure. And iconic Bollywood star Dharmendra has died. Dubbed the original He-Man of Bollywood, the actor was one of Indian cinema's most popular stars whose versatile performances helped him rise to fame in the 70s and 80s. The actor had been in and out of hospital in recent weeks. Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered his condolences, saying the actor's death marks the end of an era in Indian cinema. Dharmendra was 89. They thought he was a goner, but the cat came back 8 years later. A calico named Catherine is back in her family's arms. The reunion is still ahead. Plus, Moira's big move. Adam has an update on a story about a rare discovery with an enduring epilogue. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Right now, here's a preview of your morning, Vancouver.
From online harassment to real-world harm, experts say violence against women is evolving. Tuesday on Your Morning Vancouver, what needs to change here in BC to keep women safe? Plus, Canada Post records a staggering $541 million loss. This as it reaches a deal in principle with unionized workers. So will it change how your mail gets delivered? We'll see you in the morning.
Surrey has been transformed into a winter wonderland. This weekend's 15th annual tree lighting festival was filled with Christmassy traditions, and for the first time this year, an ice rink. There were rides, food trucks, and live performances, and of course, prominently standing in the middle of Civic Plaza, a 60-foot tree. Then, when the sun went down, it was officially lit with thousands of people taking in the festive cheer. A timeless item recovered from the Titanic has fetched a multi-million-dollar sale at auction. A gold pocket watch has become the highest price ever paid for a piece of Titanic memorabilia, selling for $3.2 million. The watch was recovered from the body of Isidore Strauss, who went down with the ship alongside his wife of 41 years, Ida. The 18-karat Jules Jurgensen watch was in engraved and given to Strauss for his 43rd birthday. The watch remained in the Strauss family for more than a century before this weekend's auction. A new top dog has been crowned at Canada's most prestigious dog show. A Pekingese named Prince reigned supreme at the Canadian Kennel Club's National Championship Dog Show in Ontario over the weekend. Prince and his owner collected the Best in Show honor and its $5,000 prize. The event brought together more than 800 dogs from across the country, representing 135 breeds.
They're so funny looking.
I was going to say, nicer hair than most people, though. It's just like,
exactly.
Very well groomed.
Yeah.
Has a Boston Terrier ever won top
I don't think
dog?
they've ever won, but, you know, they're up on the list there.
Yeah, they're high up there.
Yeah.
number one in your heart.
Exactly, and always.
Okay, well, a Calgary family has been reunited with its pet cat 8 years after it went missing. Amazing.
What?
The Murray family lost Catherine, the calico cat, 8 years ago from their home. But last week, Catherine was found on a rural road near the town of Okotoks, about 25 kilometers south of the city. Catherine is microchipped and tattooed, so staff at the Southern Alberta Veterinary Hospital, where she was taken, contacted the Humane Society and found the owners, and the reunion was captured on camera.
The fact that she did survive all the years, we have no idea what she's been through, and I really wish she could talk, because she could tell us all her stories. And as I'd mentioned as well, as survival for me, having breast cancer and gone through that this year, I feel like her coming back is, I don't think anything happens, everything happens for a reason.
The Murrays say they are thankful to the staff at the clinic for the reunion. The family says Catherine will not be allowed outside going forward and will remain an indoor cat.
That's amazing. They need to build Catherine a catio. So then she can go outside, look at the birds and everything, but you know, she's contained.
A cat condo or something with a leash.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, we'll get to the Sawatsky sign off in a moment. Lauren, what's coming up tonight?
Mijang, we have an amazing rescue to share with you tonight after 3 hikers got lost on a trail in Golden Ears Park during a downpour last night. Some unlikely young rescuers were in the right place at the right time to help. We'll have more on how their wilderness training turned into action ahead at 11:30.
Oh, that's amazing, because there is no cell service in Golden Ears, so easy to get lost and not be able to call for help. Okay, well, it's time for a little more on Moira, the wayward loggerhead sea turtle who was found by fishermen in icy cold BC waters. Tonight, Adam learns about a man who helped get his new and unexpected friend in need back home on this Encore Sawatsky sign-off.
Sean Hutchinson is watching a video of who he now calls a friend who he'd once named after himself.
I jokingly said, well, we might as well name her Shauna.
But in the end?
It was Moira.
And in the beginning, when Sean was on his boat, Moira was an unexpected discovery hidden under kelp.
The head popped up and looked at us. Oh my God moment.
She was a sea turtle who Sean knew was nowhere near native to the area.
It would kind of follow us a little bit, almost like asking for help, really.
And that's when Sean remembered hearing about a friend of a friend whose wife was a marine zoologist and called Dr. Anna Hall.
I dropped everything. Sunday dinner was still sitting on the counter. I just left.
The turtle was far from its more tropical home, only the second ever sighted in BC, and suffering from severe hypothermia.
It sort of looked like a creature that was moving toward the end of its life.
So Anna raced to orchestrate a rescue at sea, while more volunteers scrambled to borrow a wheelbarrow and secure cushions to create a carrier for the creature on land.
Sure enough, a wheelbarrow does fit in the back of my car with a large sea turtle in it.
During the 5-hour journey from Vancouver Island to the Vancouver Aquarium, Sean sat in the back, keeping Moira hydrated, and staff at BC Ferries stepped up to ensure the turtle got on the first available ship to the mainland, before being rehabilitated over the past 8 months by a team from the Marine Mammal Rescue Center who named her Moira.
Everybody was so happy that the turtle had made it to the people who know how to care for her.
And today, the first caring person Moira met is watching the final footage of the turtle being assessed at SeaWorld in San Diego and equipped with a tracker to monitor her safety before finally being released into the wild.
It's humbling to finally know she's back in the wild where she belongs, and that it was a full inspirational story.
A story with an enduring epilogue now that Sean and his wife are expecting a baby girl.
I mentioned we should name her Moira, but it's up for discussion right now.
And while Sean is thankful for all the turtle toys they received at the baby shower, the greatest gift is knowing that Moira is back home. Adam Swatsky, CTV News, Saanich.
Aw, beautiful.
story.
I love turtles.
I hope they do name her Moira.
Yeah. And I think she's just happy to be in warmer waters.
Yes.
It gets cold up here, right?
All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. A beautiful sunrise in Burnaby. Thanks, Gabriel, for sending this picture in of cotton candy clouds. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well. So email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Beautiful. Very nice. All right, thanks for joining us. Lauren's back at 11:30. Have a great evening.
Good night.